have a few questions about offshore wind in Sweden and wind energy in general.
Okay.
So, how progressive is offshore wind in Sweden right now? Or is it very favorable? Or are people receptive towards it?
It's not very favorable in a financial point of view.
Mm-hmm.
It's more financially beneficial to build wind farms on land today. Although there's an incentive to increase possibilities to build offshore too. And I think there's not as much opposition against wind farms offshore because they're not as much in people's view.
That's interesting. We've seen a lot of that in the United States as well, that the shift towards offshore wind is becoming greater and greater. It's very interesting.
But since we're working on offshore wind platforms, could you please tell us about the obstacles there are for offshore wind?
Well, the project I'm working on is off the coast here. It's very close. The biggest problem that we're having is actually the opposition. People who don't like it. It's a financial question as well. And then, of course, as you have with all projects, you need to find out, how are we going to connect the wind farm to the grid. That's always the case. And the first question you need to ask yourself too is it wind enough? So you have those all basic questions. But for us, really, it's in terms of too many people not wanting to see it.
And so to bring our viewers back to Big Glen that's behind us, so what was the incentive to build Big Glen?
It was part of the integrated energy work towards a sustainable society, and it's also part of the work we do to collaborate both with Olivia, so Chandler, and also with other companies. And this wind turbine is from General Electric, so we have this collaboration together, and it's part of how we want to develop this new future that we're heading towards, because no one can really do it on their own. So if we bring more resources together, we can do it together.
Can you tell about some of the challenges during the installation stage?
The problem was that it was so big, so we take the blades from the machine, so we have a harbor sand. And the sand with the blades is 270 ton, and with the blade is nearly 300 ton. So I don't think it was so. The problem was the wind, because we raised it in January, December, January. So it take a couple of weeks more than that.
Okay.
They're both offloading it from the ship. It was too windy to do that, and then it was too windy to even erect it. So we had to wait out the great wind, which we really want to have.
Right.
So that was a problem. But now we're happy that we have problems here, because we'll keep having big winds.
It's a good place to have onshore, because it's a lot of tests and a lot of forwards, so you don't need a so it's very helpful.
Can you tell us a tiny bit about the price points for the different electricity generation? I know that in the United States, the biggest challenge that the industry is currently facing is that the price per kilowatt hour is so expensive. I believe that the lowest price point we currently have, and it's not finalized yet, is roughly $10 per kilowatt hour, which would translate to roughly 60 crowns. What would the price points be right here?
Yeah.
It was gigawatt, not kilowatt.
Well, in the U.S. we do it by kilowatt hour for the residential consumer. We calculate it on
60 crowns for the kilowatt.
yes.
Hello. It would be 60
6 crowns.
krone cents per.
It must be 6 crowns, because it's a lot of money.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, right now we have even up to $24 per I believe it's per kilowatt hour generation.
I think it's $24 cents per.
Oh yes, $24 cents. Sorry, dollar cents. Yes, but that's a lot of money still. I mean, comparatively. I think you had mentioned something about £1.
Right. So it's about to go right now. We've had a dip in electricity prices, and most forecasts are predicting an increase in electricity prices, which is going to help the wind industry. And I think actually it's very difficult now to build any electricity generating system that's going to handle these prices that electricity is because it's so low.
Right.
So other than big lens size, is there anything specifically unique or innovative about big lens?
It's the biggest in Sweden.
It doesn't have a gearbox. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a prototype that they brought on. I'm not quite sure what the new features on it are. More than it is a really big wind turbine. I know it doesn't have a gearbox.
But it's the company have
Yeah.
to give us as well.
Right.
So can we take more?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much for your time. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.